feel like I haven't recorded in ages, and I think that is actually the case. I'm so sorry I've been away for so long. Anyway, it is a gorgeous evening. I'm in my garden, and from what I remember, last time the chapter was too long and I only read half of chapter 15, so I need to continue with the other half of chapter 15. Now chapter 15 we saw that, let's have a look, so they've met a witch, and the witch was Ophelia, and they say they're not going to play Ophelia's games, but they know they need to. They think that Ophelia might have the recipe now for the gold, doesn't she? Anyway, let's carry on. Let's see if we can remember. Back outside, Nine squinted at the daylight and ran back to the house park. Everything felt so confusing and horrible. She felt so lost, so completely and utterly bewildered. Had she made the right decision? Was she right to make a deal with the witch? It was a risk she had to take, but there was something even worse. She reached the house, slamming the front door behind her. "Madam!" came Flabbergast's concerned voice from the kitchen. What was even worse was that Nine had discussed matters with his arch-enemy. Done a deal with her. She felt she had betrayed his trust and hoped with all her heart he'd understand that this was the only way. "Ladybug!" Nine ignored both their voices. She didn't want to talk. Not to Flabbergast, not to Eric, not to anyone. She would absolutely bet that if she did betray the witch and told Flabbergast what had happened, his sister would somehow find out. She always seemed to know so much about everyone, about everything. Sorry. About everything. Nine suspected the secret shop of secrets had a lot to do with this. Nine reached the top of the plum-carpeted stairs and arrived at the landing. She hardly registered that she climbed the rickety flight of stairs, leading to a silvery door that was decorated with a golden question mark. Nine opened the door and breathed in the faintly familiar scent of her mother's room. She just needed to be there, for a moment, desperate for comfort, before she led her friends into what she believed to be danger. She wished with all her heart that her mother were here to advise her, to guide her, to hold her and say that somehow everything would just be okay. It was going to be all right. Because at the moment, it all felt messier than the cupboard under the stairs. But her ma wasn't here. She would never be here again. Nine took off her satchel and plonked it beside the bed. Then she threw herself face down onto the soft mauve quilt, narrowly missing the mystery of the woven moor. "Hey," said the candle from the satchel, pinned underneath Nine. "Don't forget about me." Nine rolled over and pulled out the candle. "Sorry," she said, standing it on the little wooden bedside table. "Ooh, you've got yourself in a right old pickle, haven't you?" gasped the candle, with wide eyes in its little flame. "Those friends of yours downstairs are going to be right cross when they find out what you've done. Especially that one with the curly hair and the pointy hat. He really doesn't like his sister, does he?" Nine frowned, but the candle just kept going. "Still, at least she can keep a secret, you know. I'm rubbish at it. I can't seem to stop talking. I just want to be useful, but everyone just takes me back to the shop, time and time again, and..." Nine leaned over and blew the candle out. The candle huffily puffed a little wisp of smoke out of its wick and reignited itself. "Rude! I just want to be useful," it muttered. Knockety-knock. The candle quickly extinguished itself, a split second before Flabbergast burst inside. "Madam, what is your plan for rescuing Dish and Spoon? We're waiting." "We need to go to the bookshop as soon as we can," said Nine, rubbing her face with her hands. "It promises it will be open any minute. Your aunt will visit too, and you need to reason with her. And I'll try to find out what Ma left." "Reason with her?" snorted Flabbergast. "Have you ever tried to reason with someone called the Unpredictable? I'd stand more chance of persuading that sometimes dead to tidy the cupboard under the stairs." He frowned deeply. "Although my sister did manage to get them to do that once. I trust you've bumped into her again then." Nine swallowed hard, hating the lie she forced onto her tongue. "No, Flabbergast nodded. That is some good fortune, at least. Far better our paths never cross again. This is all the plan you have? I fear it is a dangerous move. Nine nodded, trying to stop the confession from spilling out. Well, we won't be by ourselves. I just need you to trust me, Nine said quietly. It's the only way to save, to save our family. Flabbergast looked at Nine and sighed. Madam, you are a stubborn, hot-headed, inquisitive beyond tolerance, but... The silvery sparkles appeared in his eyes. I would trust you with my life, and I hope you would do the same. Nine swallowed hard. Would she trust Flabbergast with her life? With everything? Received with thanks, the safekeeper. Flabbergast cleared his throat, and his gaze caught the candle on the bedside table. Ah! At least you brought a candle for my study. That will come in useful. He walked over and picked it up. Oh, said Nine, trying to snatch the candle back. No, I really don't think you should. What, madam? Nine's heart sank. More lies, more deception, more mistakes. Nothing, she said, and released her grip on the candle. Her heart sank even lower as she saw the candle briefly ignite, its overjoyed face giving her a wink behind Flabbergast's back as he moved towards the door. I'll tell you the other plans. I'll tell the others the plan. Well, part of the plan. Everything inside Nine just wanted to burst. Flabbergast, she called out, making the wizard stop in the doorway and look around. I'm really sorry. Flabbergast frowned. Madam, sorry for what? For... Nine hesitated. For the way everything has worked out. The wizard looked confused for a moment, then left the room. Nine pulled the jar out of her satchel and stared at the swirling turquoise letters. The secret inside. It was impossible to make out the words. She placed it on the table beside the bed. She put her hand on the cork lid to release the secret, then moved her hand away. She would listen to it later. There was no room in her head for someone else's thoughts. It was too full of her own. There was one last chance at the bookshop, one last chance to save Dish and Spoon, and every chance that it was going to go horribly wrong. And that takes us to chapter 16.